Hey everybody, Carolina Tony coming to you today from Asheville, North Carolina. We are here at the Grove Park Inn. This place was built in 1913 and took a little over 11 months to build, and a lot of rich and famous people have stayed here. Let's go inside and take a look. Now, let's go inside. Even though it's 80-something degrees outside, they have a roaring fire going. And you can sit here in your own little rocking chair right in front of a big old fire. And here's something that's set inside the fireplace. Be not simply good, be good for something. Let's walk outside. Okay, this is a look over Asheville. Their outdoor restaurants. There's one over there on that wing. Of course, you can go down and eat. And we have one up here. This place is really massive. And I stayed here probably 30 years ago. For the life of me, I can't remember it at all. Let's look back up at the Grove Park Inn. That's the original there. And the two wings over there. And on that side has been added on to accommodate more guests. And there's a look from the lower level where the water falls. We're up under the waterfalls now. Let's see where this little corridor takes us. It just kind of twists and turns around. Grove Park Inn was built in 1913, and there has been some very famous people to stay here, such as F. Scott Fitzgerald, Margaret Mitchell, Alex Haley. They also have the gingerbread competition here that some of you folks may have watched on the Food Network challenge. Here's one of the top 10 by Ann Bailey, actually from Cary, North Carolina. Continuing the list of famous people: Macaulay Culkin, Jennifer Lopez, Richard Simmons, Dan Aykroyd, Sir Anthony Hopkins, Michelle Obama, Dinah Shore, Burt Reynolds, Art Linkletter, David Copperfield, John Denver, Jeff Daniels, Nikki Taylor, Jerry Seinfeld, Sinbad, Paula Poundstone. And you could add to that list, but they don't have my picture on the wall. Carolina Tony has stayed here. Actually, right over there, 30 years ago, is a model of what the Grove Park Inn looked like originally. Here are some menus from way long time ago. No prices on them. If you have to ask, you can't afford it. And unlike the hotels that I'm used to staying in where we eat off of paper plates, this place, real fine china and real silverware, the kind you have to polish. Just after the inn opened in 1913, a ragtag group of notable individuals calling themselves the Vagabonds began a summer tradition of stopping by the Grove Inn on their way to the Smoky Mountains. People like Thomas Edison, Henry Ford, Harvey Firestone, they loved camping and braving the wilderness. And they'd load their T-models down with all the comforts of home and head through the heavy underbrush and rough roads of the mountains to get here to the Grove Park Inn. Okay, here's some old cars here. There's a 1927 LaSalle. This thing looks like it's brand new. The building these cars are in used to be a weaving factory where they would weave looms and make yarn into material. There's a 1950 MG little sports car. And here's a 1915 Model T. And I bet you, if you think real hard, you could think in this car like this, there was a real famous movie that a gentleman sat there. Do you remember? It was Fred McMurray in The Absent-Minded Professor. There's a 1929 Ford Model A. Here's a 1940 Packard Coupe. Look at those wide white walls. 1929 Chevrolet sedan. Now, all these cars were straight drive. 1932 Chevrolet Coupe. 1940 Buick Century. And they still make Buick Centuries, don't they? This is a 1914 Overland touring car. No windows. And apparently this is a British vehicle. It's a 1927 Rio Flying Cloud. The running boards. Real wood. Steering wheel. Here's a little more modern car, a 1955 Cadillac sedan. Little sign inside says, not a dealer in the country can get as many Cadillacs as he can sell. Here's another part of the museum. Some carriages for those that couldn't afford a car but could handle a horse and a carriage. These are some trunks that people, when they travel by rail, would take all their clothes in these trunks. This particular trunk here had a place to hang your clothes and little drawers where you can keep all your unmentionables. And this is a 1959 Edsel Corsair. A 1921 American LaFrance fire truck. France was a big manufacturer in fire truck And this one here even comes with its own Dalmatian. Hey, buddy. And a Cadillac limousine. They had roll-down curtains in the back seat, a telephone to talk with the driver, a built-in cocktail bar, and a rear jump seat that folded forward. And there's the little window, pulls down. And for all you young people, this is what bathtubs looked like 75 years ago. And no, that's not a stripper pole. That's a fire pole that a fireman would slide down to put his clothes on and mount the fire truck off to save a burning house. And we're on our way out now. As I said, this was a clothing manufacturer owned by the Bloomberg family. And there's a picture of cars riding the mountain roads before there was pavement. And this is the dye house that would dye the material. It's closed up today, so you can't get in, but you can see the big fats that they would put material in to dye the clothing or the material for Biltmore homespun fabrics. A little better view there. That they would mix the dyes up in and dye the fabrics for Biltmore homespun fabrics. Okay, here's an example of the looms that would weave the yarn, such as this, into fabric. And here are some of the fabrics that were dyed here. The Biltmore hand-woven homespun fabrics used to make suits that people like Herbert Hoover and Teddy Roosevelt would have worn. And there is a lady's tailor-made hand-woven suit. This cottage here is constructed of stone. Is native to Sunset Mountain, where the Grove Park Inn is built. And it's the exact dimensions as Anne Hathaway's cottage at Stratford-on-Avon. And this was the seat to the Philippine government during World War II. And 2 former presidents of the United States have stayed here. Well, that's going to do it for our visit to the Grove Park Inn. Hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. And as always, y'all have a good day.